of October. Not August, but October. All right, 20th of October. Let's get straight into the meat of the matter with the WTs. See what's happening with weather and traffic. Starting off in traffic, heading out San Fernando first. See what's going on there. Got nothing to tell you about as you make your way up north. Under Solo, just after Freeport is where you're going to pick up your traffic just to Chaguanas. Of course, that main road is beginning to build. After that, it's Charlieville towards the interchange and a bit of volume heading into Port of Spain. Sticky spot so far, Trinity City towards UE, a little volume approaching Piarco Lights. All right, let's get into our weather forecast. See what's happening. It's 24 degrees at Piarco International Airport. It is 28 degrees. Yeah, at Crown Point in Tobago. Met Office is saying that it's going to be a partly cloudy conditions are expected with a few showers and a 40% medium chance of heavy showers and thunderstorms. This evening will be fair at first with a few showers likely after midnight. All right. So that's your weather forecast for today. Let's use that as hellos on YouTube. Yeah. Oliver Man Warren, good morning. Alistair Hart. Wendy Ann James, Ewart Ratchball, good morning. DJ Ray out in Chile, Delaware. Doreen Pierre, good morning from New York City. Oh, yeah, I didn't do your temps, did I? Marcia Rock, good morning. Anthony Tinto out in Canada. And he was saying, locked on a happy belated birthday to my brother Keith in Trinidad. And for a visit from Denise and Anthony. All right. Ray out in West Palm Beach, Florida. Good morning. Carol Guevara, Gloria Gray, Rennie Mohammed, locked on in Point Lisas. Richard M. Jeremiah. Rennie is saying, okay, yeah. Wayne B., good morning. Dancing Queen. Let me pull out a song here. Let me pull out a song. No, I won't. It'll rain. Morning to you, Dancing Queen. Checking the temps, which I should have done earlier on, but I didn't. Let's see. Toronto. You're sitting at 13 degrees, warmer than yesterday. Miami, you're at 23. Orlando, 17. New York, CJ, you're at 15. Doreen, you're at 15. Atlanta at 14 with rain. London, 14 and cloudy. Tampa, you're at 17. Washington, you're at 13 and cloudy. And of course, I'll call out in LA. You're sitting at clear at 18 degrees. So let me say good morning to you, gentlemen. What's happening? It's Friday. Insert voice.
I know protocol, you know. I know protocol, you know. So anyway, good morning, Paul. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. It looks like it'll be a beautiful Friday morning. I hope it remains that way. But anyway, we are here. We are happy to be in the land of the living. Happy birthday to my very good friend, Shaka Subero. He is celebrating his birthday today.
Oh, as you say that, Wendell, let's say happy birthday going out to Winston Gypsy Peters.
Oh, yes. It's his birthday. Was it yesterday?
Today. I should call him.
Today also.
Let's call him and wake him up.
Yeah, happy birthday, Gypsy.
Feeling wicked. Feeling wicked.
Sometimes it's good to let people go off first. You don't always have to go off first. Good morning, everyone.
But happy birthday, Shaka. You know. Yeah,
Welcome
whoever else celebrating birthdays today.
Welcome to Friday.
Yeah. What's your weather like coming up, Steve, for the weekend?
I think we're going to get some rain. Yeah, tomorrow. Let me just pull it up here. Let me not say something. Met Office has not updated. 12 minutes after 6, and they have not updated their weather. As soon as it's updated, I'll let you know.
All right.
Yeah, as soon as it's updated.
Anthony Tinto is saying happy belated birthday to his brother Keith in Trinidad and Tobago. And hello to Denise and Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It seems we're having some new names messaging us. Either that or people changing their sobriquet. That's also possible. You know? But good morning and welcome to you all from whatever parts of the world you're joining us from. Let us know Let us know, even if you're in Trinidad. Let us know.
Let me ask you all something.
Go ahead, Paul. Ask her.
That picture of the Prime Minister, which was circulating yesterday, is it AI or is it real?
Real.
Was the Prime Minister
It's possible it's real.
was dressed down like that?
Yeah, that's. He lost
That
his
was,
suitcase.
that was so unusual.
That's all I
If
can
that
say.
picture is not doctored, it's so unusual for Dr. Rowley.
It is, isn't it?
I'll tell you something.
I could only think that he lost his suitcase. Yeah.
No, you remember a morning he came to the studio exactly just like that. That, as
This
a
is
matter of
not
fact, I think
came to the
that's
studio dressed like that. This is standing next to the Prime Minister of Canada in a
He's on the
context of a press
international-
conference. So it is an unfortunate comparison.
No, I'm hold on.
That's on the
I said to
international
you,
stage.
Everybody dresses down sometimes. Everybody dresses down sometimes. But in the context of standing next to the Canadian Prime Minister, at what I presume to be some sort of press conference or official event, and the Canadian Prime Minister fully dressed formally, it is unusual.
It is.
It ain't him coming to power to studio and sit down and we'll talk and having a good conversation. It's not the same thing at all.
You see, you don't allow me to finish, You just go
ahead,
on
Wendell.
your soapbox.
You usually
Jump up
finish
on
so
your
fast.
soapbox.
Go ahead, Wendell. Let me hear.
I'm just saying that the way Dr. Rowley dressed yesterday, if the picture has not been doctored, it does not surprise me. Because I've seen Dr. Rowley do that at events where all his ministers are dressed in jacket and tie, and he is dressed down.
And again,
hold on, let me
this
finish.
is not his ministers.
I said, I agree.
All right, get to the point.
I agree that in the context that where it is unusual for him because he always dresses, and you know how he dresses. We all know how he dresses.
That's why I think. That's why I thought we ain't taking on this because this is somebody being mischievous.
Yeah, it could be. It could.
This is somebody. This is some AI generated something or some graphic artist slap different outfit on him because what I saw is not the Keith Rowley that I have seen over the years. Okay.
Let me look at that picture again. Where was it sent? It was sent in the Power Breakfast group too, right? Let me look at that picture again.
Let me try to bring it up for people who don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, that picture look plastered there. That picture look imposed there. It could be.
That's why I didn't take it out. I just found. I said
that's how Dr. Rowley was dressing. That's how he was dressing for screening and thing.
I can understand dressing for screening in a different when he's doing different kinds of work in a closed door environment. You understand that? Let me see if I could.
Yeah, but on an international stage with.
That's why I thought it's a doctored picture.
Yeah. What was the narrative that went with the picture?
There was no narrative.
That went with the picture? Yes,
there was no narrative that went with the picture.
It was accompanied by some comments when Ruben posted it.
Well, I saw various people commenting all sorts of disparaging stuff. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Which is not unusual.
Which is also not unusual. So.
Mm-hmm.
But
which probably was the basis of it. But I don't know if he dressed that way. I'm sure he will have an explanation for it. If he actually dressed that way, because that's not his style for. That's not his style.
No, it's
for
not.
International.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It is not.
Yeah.
It is not at all his style.
Yeah.
Okay, it is not his style at all.
Yeah.
But it looked very odd. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, it's odd for him. It's not his character.
No, it's not, and that's why I found it looked odd. It's just like, what is this? This is like what? It's not making no sense to me. This is a thing that make you go.
Yeah.
Things that make you go.
Right, let me try something here because what I trying there, okay. So.
Have you Googled and see the actual press conference to see if somebody really being mischievous? Because I'm sure there's a picture somewhere of the actual press conference.
No,
If there was one. Well, let's try that.
No, I didn't.
Real mischief afoot now, but let's see. Press conference.
Right. So what I'm going to do, we have to be silent for a couple of seconds so people just see and then we come back, right? This is usually a work around.
Nothing working there, Paul.
You're trying something over.
I realize.
I tried to put it in the background then.
Yeah, you did. It's in the background. Anyway.
But it didn't work out. Okay, I know where I'll put it.
So I Googled the press conference between Dr. Rowley and Justin Trudeau. And while there are several other pictures of him impeccably dressed, there is that picture. But another type of picture, there isn't. I don't know if you could see my phone.
Right. Look it up on the corner there. That's the best I can do for now.
Where?
It's up on the corner on the screen.
Okay.
Oh,
yes, I see.
I don't have my glasses.
There is another picture. There is another picture. Different to that one that I'm going to send for you now, where he is dressed that same way. So I don't know if that is.
It's just very, very, very odd because, as I said, Dr. Rowley is always, to me, impeccably dressed and dressed appropriately for particular occasions. Okay,
I just said
he's not against dressing down. He's dressed down. I mean, he's a normal human being. So, but in the context of standing in next to a prime minister who's fully dressed, because if Justin Trudeau were dressed similarly, you'd say, well, they just came off a golf course or they just came off a informal, and somebody asked him to say a few words. But the juxtaposition of him next to the Canadian Prime Minister, who's fully formally dressed, is very odd.
I sent the other picture for you, Paul, that I just pulled off Google, of him in the same outfit, but a different pose. So it could very well be true that he was actually dressed that way.
Yeah, very, very odd.
Yeah.
You see it?
You know, I understand now. Anyway, I think we have more things to discuss than Dr. Rowley's attire, but it was trending.
Yeah, it was.
Tea and tech rates, people will be spending more. Billing cycle will now move from 2 months to monthly.
They should have done that a long time ago, and maybe we should use that as our poll this morning. Do you agree that we should pay monthly tea and tech bills? Because most other bills are monthly, except maybe for WASA. Most other bills are monthly, so it's a question that might be worth asking today.
Yeah, I like the 2 months. I mean, I still pay my bill monthly. I still put money in it monthly, but you know,
I don't know. Maybe I'm not understanding the rate increase. The way they were so convoluted in terms of how they disseminated the information yesterday. It's like.
But TNTech eventually responded,
And said
TNTech eventually responded,
They said the bill is now set to increase from between 15 and 64%, depending on how many kilowatt hours you use.
Yeah.
You understand? So there are tiers now where if it's 100 kilowatt hours and under, if it's 400 kilowatt hours and under, if it's 200 kilowatt hours and under, if it's 1,000 kilowatt hours and under, right? You fall into different tiers now in terms of the percentage increase that you will have to pay. That's basically what they said, I don't know, I may be reading it wrong or may have heard it wrong, but is it that they said commercial and or industrial is going to be reduced?
No, they didn't take that into consideration at all this time. It's only residential.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I think it's only residential.
Something about that which I found it sounded odd, but I said, you know what? Let me not use it as gospel truth because people like mischief.
Yeah. What they said,
so 200 and under, you will see a 22% increase. 400 and under, 15% increase, 600 and then a 90%. And this is bi-monthly, yeah? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Monthly, 200 kilowatts and under, it'll be 35.50 more. 400, 63.50 more. 600, 103.50 more. 800, 143.50 more. 1500, 290.50 more. 2500 kilowatts, which is a lot. 560.50 more. And 7,000 kilowatt hours. And this is bi-monthly again. No, sorry, this is monthly. 2,069 more, but that's a lot. Most people hover around 4 and 8.
I think they said if you're paying around $800, your bill will go down. That I think I heard that on television last evening.
Mm-hmm. Well, the way they did it was so convoluted, so people's interpretation is varying from person to person or group to group.
Yeah. All right. So the last two comments on YouTube, interesting. Derek Parsons said it was not out of any disrespect. All right. Derek Parsons first said, "Good morning to the Power Breakfast crew. It is true that Dr. Rowley was dressed like that. He started off by telling the conference why, and they continued. He also said it was not out of any disrespect, plus that Guyana president was not suited up, but was dressed a little more formal, and he left the press conference early to catch his flight." Zeba Peak said, "The president of Guyana was dressed like the Canadian Prime Minister and present with Dr. Rowley. To me, it looked like it was supposed to be only Guyana and Canada speaking, but Mr. Ali, that's President Ali, grabbed Dr. Rowley and said, 'Hey, boy, come go up with me.'" Those are
opinions. Okay. It makes sense now then. Okay.
Yeah. And Derek Parsons also again said that Dr. Rowley did explain why he was dressed down.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But again, so as I said, first of all, because it was so uncharacteristic for him. Because if he doesn't dress, he's never inappropriately dressed. But I've never seen him inappropriately dressed.
No.
Right? I remember about a year ago, a man in the water in the beach in Tobago in a pair of shorts in the water by the beach, and people commenting about how he disrespectfully dressed. We're in the water with a suit.
I remember that
and
picture.
They went off and how they're back prime minister and what? He by the beach now?
The man was in the water, Paul.
In the water.
I remember that. Like he had a way of dress.
They must see jealous the man body looking decent at this age.
Well, probably.
And as I said, this picture yesterday, it had to be some odd circumstance where he wasn't planning to be in that or AI or graphics, because it's not how I accustomed to seeing the man dressed at all.
Yeah.
But I saw one pretty popular, well, not popular, well-known media person board, and he dressed like a vagrant, and I'm saying, you just couldn't wait, eh?
Well, the ones who made those comments, including the one who I'm seeing at the top of the comments for Ruben, he accustomed to that. He accustomed kind of like a I don't know what else to say.
And I have no credibility.
None.
And lucky somebody stand on that piece of land for him.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
But that jacket, as I say, that blade, that jacket, that coat.
So he was on his way to the airport apparently, and dressed like for the cold weather, and and must he just on his way through, must he pass out to greet some greetings and say, "Oh yeah, go on,"
Yeah.
And they grab him. Anyway, moving on.
I think he's en route to London next.
Are you going to London? Well, his birthday is coming up next week. His birthday is in the next 4 days.
Yeah.
He'll be what, 73 or 72? 73, I think.
Congratulations again to TTPS. A Santa Cruz man was remanded into custody and charged for the attempted murder of the prison officer and a minor in attire. 22-year-old Emmanuel Joseph, a laborer of Lacano Road. Well, like he taking all kind of work.
My goodness.
22 years old. You are 22 years old, and that is what you do with your life. You understand? But good for the police, right? The news piece confirmed that in the first instance, one male suspect was arrested not long after, and then this man now yesterday.
Okay, all right. I was now about to ask that, Tom. So I'm happy you clarified that, because I was wondering it can't just be
one male suspect was arrested on the same day, and now this Santa Cruz man, of course, they must be squeezed the next one. Gonads. They must be squeezed that one gonads in the station and say, who is your partner? Because we know it's two of you. Who is your partner?
Yeah.
Who is your partner? Who is your partner?
Let me see how you do that squeezing.
Book. You close a book and you yaps.
It's a draw. There's use a draw.
It's a draw? Or you know?
It's a draw.
It's a draw in the station. It's
a draw. Okay. What you do is a draw.
But I'm sure you would have heard that before. I don't know.
You get Encyclopedia Britannica.
The policeman had the little boy a book in his head in St. Joseph Station.
You understand? Anyway, they squeeze him and like he squealed, you know? And he said that is my accomplice. And they pick up the accomplice and charge him. Good for them.
Well done. Let's hope it.
I keep saying and I keep taking it. So when they say that we don't congratulate them, we've been congratulating them for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sir.
Yes.
Right?
Let's hope they find out from them who sent them, because surely they were sent.
Oh yeah.
You understand?
That's somebody told me yesterday, and as Martin George said yesterday, actually, that is the issue. Them two were contracted to do the work.
Yeah.
So who contract them? That's what you need to find out.
Yep.
And more than likely, the person who contract them in jail already, yeah?
Yes.
You know that, right?
Yeah, possible.
All right. 563 legal firearms have been seized so far for the year. Again, when our ears mash them up, our ears destroy them.
I guess they may probably but some of these guns are new. We might be able to incorporate them in our thing instead of pressing on Minister of Finance, Conway, to buy more guns.
No, Mr. Stephen, no.
I'm going down the Wonderland Road, right?
No, you ain't going down. You're done in the rabbit hole already.
Okay? Maybe they tell themselves that.
Again, you find yourself in a space that is going to get you uncomfortable.
That's quite all right.
You have a passion for finding yourself in.
I'm accustomed to it's making
spaces that get you uncomfortable. Don't do that.
Yeah.
They may seem comfortable at first, and then they turn uncomfortable, and then you end up in problems.
No. And I gotta do what I gotta do.
So they said there's been a 23% reduction in murders and a 29% drop in woundings and shootings.
That's a recent press conference?
Yesterday.
All right.
So of course, they use the as somebody who has extensively done statistics, you could just look at the best comparative period. So if the year looking good, you say you compare the year. If the quarter looking good, you compare the quarter.
Right.
If the half of the year looking good, you compare the half. If the last 7 days looking good, you compare the last 7 days. Okay? Because there's always a reference point involved. So they say with the same period as at October 16th last year.
Right.
So, that means nothing to Trinidad and Tobago, because at the end of the day, we still feel unsafe.
We still have a problem.
Yeah. Morning, Olago Basing.
Good morning, guys. Good morning to our listeners and viewers.
Let the Prime Minister that shit. That's what you need to do. Let the Prime Minister that shit.
Oh, behave. I saw the video, and I saw the
we already found we got to the root of what it was. He was not supposed to be there, and somebody grabbed him and say, "Hey, come say a few words."
Oh, was it that?
Yeah, because it was highly uncharacteristic of Dr. Rowley to be dressed like that. I've never seen him dressed inappropriately, as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
Unless you consider being in a pair of shorts by the beach in the water inappropriate. Because some people found that inappropriate at all.
He should have had on long johns.
And a suit and a tie in the water in Pigeon Point. You understand?
I figured there would have been some sort of,
Yeah, there was. He apparently wasn't supposed to be speaking, and he was on his way to the airport or something. And if you're going to the airport on a long flight, he has thrown a pair of jeans, a t-shirt, and a hoodie. And a hoodie.
Yeah.
Because even if you had to go from the hotel to the town car to get that space between the hotel door and the car in Canada, it could give you some challenges.
Yeah. But I actually think that Dr. Rowley is very comfortable dressing down. You hear why I said that? I would have observed Dr. Rowley at some functions of the government and even the party. Well, mostly so the government. And I remember the first time I saw him dressed down like that, and I commented, is when he went out. There was a national and international match at the stadium. And Daryl Smith was the Minister of Sport. Daryl Smith, everybody else dressed in suit, jacket, and tie. And Dr. Rowley was dressed exactly looking like that, walking out to greet the teams. You understand? As a matter of fact, he had a Trinidad and Tobago t-shirt underneath the jacket, the blazer at the time. But it's not so much a blazer as it is like a coat. A coat for like cold weather or whatever. And we all know Dr. Rowley uses a lot of scarves and so on, thick things around his neck. And so, but the first time I saw him dressed like that was at that occasion. And I've seen him do it at other occasions also, where ministers around him, like when he was, I think the other day, to cut a ribbon for something. Everybody else impeccably dressed, and he was dressed down again.
I think we could put dress down gate to rest.
Yeah.
Was he the only prime minister that spoke at the conference? Because that's the only feeds we got.
No, Mayor Mockley also spoke.
Okay. I know the only feeds we got would be him. We'd concentrate on him.
Yeah.
But,
I saw Mayor Mockley also making a comment about Caribbean states and security, and also Caribbean states and climate change issues, etc. So,
yeah, the Guyanese president also, I think, spoke. Dr. Ali.
Inchanali.
Irfan. You're showing your age there with that name,
I know it was something with because I saw him do an interview with BBC.
Yeah.
And he was actually pretty good, huh?
We had two very top cricketers for Trinidad and Tobago and the West Indies, Inchan Ali and Imtiaz Ali. Both of them played for Trinidad and Tobago and the West Indies.
Oh, okay. And
the American Department of State Department has issued a warning, a very, very rare worldwide caution to Americans across the globe to be on the lookout for potential terrorist attacks, demonstrations, or violent actions against U.S. citizens and U.S. interests. It is not often they put out a worldwide caution. And it's directly based on the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas. And clearly because America's ally is Israel, and America is more or less defending Israel and aligning itself with Israel's interests in that conflict. So
Did you all touch on that bombing of that hospital where both Israel is also saying that is Hamas do it to themselves? I don't understand that story.
Yeah,
I just don't understand that story.
Where so many children died.
Yeah,
and it's just heartbreaking. The whole conflict and the escalation of the conflict is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's extremely heartbreaking. I mean, yesterday I saw a video of a child, and he looked like about 3 years old. And a doctor was trying to comfort this child and calm this child down. He was just shaking. I mean, because all he's hearing is bombs falling, and
Yeah. I've been avoiding looking at those videos, especially with the children. I've been avoiding looking at it.
Humans love war. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Humans love war.
Mm-hmm.
They've loved war from day one when they crawl out of the cave. Is they go and club each other in the head because I want your cave and your woman. You understand? And it continues today. Land and land.
Land is land at the end of the day.
Well, let's fight for other things too. Land, money, and woman.
God, you could say it. Say God now. Say God. Don't shy away.
They don't fight over God. They don't fight over God. They fight in the name of God.
Mm-hmm. Well, my version of God.
Yeah, they fight in the name of their version of God.
But that's what they fight for. And the ironic thing and the kind of stupidity of human beings is that Christianity, Islam, and Judaism are all cousins because they're all part of the branches of the Abrahamic religion. So it's if you are watching objectively, it's crazy that those three religions
but
have their conflicts.
But Richard, on a more fundamental level, we're all cousins in one way or the other as human beings, and we fight because this one this color, that one that color, this one have this texture, that one have that hair texture.
Don't try to water down the God thing. Don't try to water down the God thing by expanding it in some esoteric way about human beings. No. God has caused the most wars.
No.
Interpretation of God. Yes, that's the truth.
No. But you see, you're saying God has caused the most wars. I can't say that.
Land and conquest caused the most wars.
Interpretation of God causes the most wars.
So Russia invading Ukraine over God or over land space?
No, that is Russian.
Genghis Khan tried to conquer the whole of Eurasia over God or over land space?
Yeah. Part of it is territorial.
The Americans invade the Indian land in North America over God or land space. Its territory is the biggest reason for war, Richard. You're wrong.
Yeah.
No, more human beings have died for war based on some religious content.
Your data support for that is what? Your opinion?
We just have to go to World War II.
Your opinion on that is what? Based on what? That is ideology. That is not necessarily God. That is ideology. Aryan race feel they better. This one want to conquer France. So you're wrong. Where's the evidence? You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
He was at war with Africa. He was at war with India. No, he was at war with Jews. For what reason?
You're wrong. You're wrong.
The Inquisition was what? What the Inquisition was?
You're naming specific issues as opposed to the whole topic we're talking about and conflating. You're wrong. Papers.
Okay.
I actually think both of you are
typical lawyer. If you can't win in this train, go down the next train and try to draw the conversation in that direction. Papers.
Don't remind me.
Typical lawyer. You can't win this way, so drag it down another half and try to win way if you are more.
Warring over God.
You cannot win an argument with a lawyer. Trust me.
Still warring over God. Right in the Middle East right now.
I win arguments over lawyers every week.
No, with a lawyer. Not over lawyers. With a lawyer.
Team of lawyers.
There's a big difference, You could win an argument over lawyers, but you can't win an argument with a lawyer.
I disagree with that. Maybe you speaking for yourself, but I could.
Anyway, let's get to the newspapers and be a little bit more professional. The Daily Express for today. Of course, the day is Friday, October 20th, 2023. And the main headline on the Daily Express is, can you all guess?
TNTech.
Nope. Scandalous waste of $55 million. Lease occupied DPP office finally.
That he never went into.
So that's the main headline on the Daily Express. The unoccupied office building in Port of Spain that was earmarked for the Director of Public Prosecutions. They lease has been finally terminated.
Oh boy.
RIC recommends higher electricity rates. Well, that would have made the rounds yesterday. For shouting threats at teacher, superior pupil expelled. That's also a sub-headline. And on the back page, superb Otley opener blasts unbeaten 134's Red Force whip volcanoes. And that's all that they have on the back page, actually. Well, okay, no, it's not. Paul makes early exit at Pan Am. So that's it for the front and the back of the Daily Express. I'll move on to the front page of the Newsday. What do you think the headline is in the Newsday? I'll tell you. RIC proposes electricity rate hikes across the board. Price jolt is the headline that the Newsday went with. 15 to 64% for residential, 37 to 51% for some businesses, and up to 126% for industries. The main picture is of grief, relatives and friends of UE student Kenissa Dowrich at her funeral on Thursday at Christ the King Church in San Fernando. That was also a very tragic event that took place, that car accident. Chambers concerned over rate increases. That's also on the front page. And on the back page, TT opener starts with unbeaten ton versus volcanoes. Unbeaten ton, what does that mean? Otley blazes Red Force to win, and Paul loses opening bout at Pan Am Games. That's a ball.
Richard, you went muted for some reason, Richard. I don't know what happens there. I don't know, whoever under the table is pressing that button, and you don't even know they're pressing it.
No, I accidentally hit the mute button when I put on the papers. The Toronto Guardian under the table. Toronto Guardian. Higher light bills.
Richard Clinton, boy.
That's the headline on Toronto Guardian. RIC suggests 15 to 126% electricity rate hike range. Also agrees to monthly payments. TNTech has final say on recommendations. And that's basically the main headline.
Isn't Bill a home name for Richard too? Isn't Bill like a home name for Richard?
No, Dick is a home name for Richard.
I know about Dick, but not, isn't Bill also?
No,
Bill is William.
Bill is William.
Yeah.
Thanks.
TTPS wants evacuation plan for Port of Spain. And man charged in attack on acting prison boss. And so the back page, Otley slams unbeaten century. And that's it for the front and the back pages, basically, of all the newspapers this morning. So one was the DPP's office, the termination of the lease, 55 million. It's in a colossal waste of money. And the others have all
They haven't spent money to put up bulletproof glass on the whole north wall of that building, you know.
Yeah.
And the DPP staff are moving for one day, you know. $55 million of all your money went into that, and nobody went in. The landlord make some money, and
why
it never used, you know, for the purpose intended.
Why they chose a building in that area, God alone knows. It's Park and Henry Street, not so? Park and Henry Street.
The left hand not consulting effectively with the right hand, and somebody make a determination, because I think special branch usually has to vet the building's suitability based on the risk profile. And the rest is history.
And they had said then, wasn't it reported they had advised against a building in that area?
Somebody,
that was reported at one time. Well, PRESD is the one that is the agency that deals with rentals and securing properties for all public sector bodies. And
somebody get through.
So yeah, somebody clearly was able to convince them.
Somebody get through.
Well,
okay, don't pretend we know.
Well, I mean,
the property and real estate division, as far as I know, uses a particular formula in terms of your requirements and what kind of space allocation you require. So you would have to give that estimate, and then.
But there's also a nuance in this case because it's a DPP office and special branch or the security services has to vet because there are persons in there who are considered at higher risk. They came before JSC and said so. Actually, the DPP himself, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Paul,
and he gave me reason for not moving in. But my thing is, why go and rent the building? Even if you say, okay, this building has been deemed suitable in terms of space and we can retrofit in terms of safety. Before you sign the lease, shouldn't you ask the DPP, okay, we're doing this, we plan to do this, or maybe that happened, I don't know. And before you sign the lease?
No, I don't work so. As far
it would that somebody get $55 million and nothing happened with the building.
With my limited knowledge of it, it was that they found it suitable in the beginning. Okay, it meets the requirements of the office, what they want and so on. Lease sign. Then the risk assessment was done by special branch. That's the impression I got.
Don't make sense. Anyway.
So the special branch would have said, well, okay, if we already, the building already here, there's the building, we need to do this. You need to retrofit it with bulletproof, so that we can ensure that the DPP is safe. I'm sure that's what happened.
The question this morning is.
All right. So let me give the results of the poll from yesterday. Of course, yesterday we asked you, do you agree with the Ministry of Education's expulsion of the 16-year-old female student? That was our poll yesterday. 88% said yes, they agree. All right. Of course, on a bit of cricket news there, the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup is happening right now, Australia and Pakistan. And I tell you, Australia is just giving it to at 32.2 overs, they're 231 for the loss of no wickets. That's Australia at the crease. Warner's on 109 off 90, and Marsh is at 109 off 104.
Pakistan plays like West Indies when they're ready.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this morning's poll.
Are we asking the question?
Yeah, the T and Tech question, the 2-month, 1-month billing.
Yeah.
Do you prefer the 1-month billing cycle as proposed by?
That's not what, okay.
Yeah. Are you in support? Are you in agreement with the 1-month billing cycle for T and Tech moving forward?
Yeah. All right, that's our poll. 222-255.
We had asked about the rate increases before.
I think we would have asked, yes.
Yeah.
Because we're not sure about the actual rate increases yet. They need to clear that up first.
Yeah.
So let's deal with the 1-month billing cycle.
All right, so let's do that 1-month billing cycle question. Of course, we were supposed to have the Curtis Francois on the program this morning, but he has decided to CEO of T and Tech.
What's his name?
Curtis Francois.
Never heard that name before.
Yeah, he's been around T and Tech for a long time. For one of our transmitter sites, he was the manager for the area. So when we had T and Tech issues, I would call him. So I've known him for a very long time. He's been with T and Tech for a very long time.
All right. He took over from Mr. Ramsuk?
Yes.
Okay. But Mr. Ramsuk there from time immemorial.
All right. Do you agree with T and Tech's proposed 1-month billing cycle? Yes or no? Right? Send us a message. Let us know where you're messaging us from. Via YouTube and Facebook. And of course, you can call us, touch our tones at 222-8255. North Americans, toll-free number 865-525-1099.
I spelled billing wrong.
You do a KPB or what? Don't tell me you put a U instead of a I then.
I had 3 L's instead of 2.
Want to say something?
Instead of an I.
Let's take this call. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen. And Randy, yes.
All right, Grandy, thank you. Michelle Phillip out in Dabity, the body, says no. Trini in Boston says no. Julia S. Batiste says no. Kieran Yipnow says yes to 1 month billing cycle. Wayne Joseph says yes out of Ontario, Canada. Kazim Mohammed says yes to the poll. Do you agree with TNTech's proposed 1 month billing cycle? Gregory Bauer says yes to the poll.
I think my opinion is that, well, maybe I shouldn't give it just yet. I don't know that it will influence the poll, but I think it will make it easier for people to manage a 1 month billing cycle as opposed to 2. That's my opinion. Yes, Alistair, trying to behave myself, but it's not easy with Paul Richards and Richard Ragubasic on the morning, you know.
Yeah.
I know Paul would have misspelled that word, you know, but I didn't think you would have put the extra L.
All right. Helen Prescott, morning. Helen out in Bonnie Aruka says yes to the poll. Alistair Hart says yes. Jean Clark says yes. Carol Guevara says yes.
If I put that word you want me to put there one there, that would have closed me down.
It didn't shut down Miss Pasabi the other day.
You know, Mrs. Pasabi said doesn't broadcast for herself. Okay. That like we, you know.
Wayne B says yes. Ornate Timothy says no to the poll.
A whole former prime minister and opposition leader used it and get away with it.
It was a Freudian slip.
Well, it would have been just a Freudian misspelling for you too. We would have accepted that. But that question,
with your very liberal mind,
that question will be valid, you know, but not for today, not for TNTech.
you have cycles?
Yeah, you don't.
Okay. No.
Okay.
I didn't put schedules on my activities.
Okay. The Goliath and Dow now.
Billing or otherwise.
You see Goliath and Dow? How we watching all up in the sky?
He was an acolyte and he went to St. Mary's College, so.
Well, he was. Is being an acolyte got him sent to St. Mary's College?
No, why do I God is the priest and beat him too much? That's what happened.
Only don't go down the road of criticizing the Catholic Church, please.
Oh dear.
Be warned.
Fire and brimstone, you know.
I'm telling you.
Bring the book to bear upon you. Come for you. So a question this morning.
Friday, October 20th.
Change to a 1 month billing cycle.
Yep. Come on.
Yes, I'm sorry, this question is a boring question.
Slick Money Grip says yes. 222-8255, toll free North Americans, 866-525-1099. Give us a call, send us a message via YouTube.
How long was that building rented for? 3 years?
Probably.
More than that.
More than that, right? So they take 3 years to realize that nobody moving in the building and stop it. Somebody get rent for 4 years before they realize, well, this ain't making no sense because the man want to move in his staff to the building and stop it. Somebody get through.
Taxpayers' dollars.
Somebody get through. That's happening.
Well, and
somebody wanted that building rented. Okay.
Maybe the fact that the lease has been terminated now, is that what you said? The lease has been terminated? Maybe the person just made sure, maybe people secured another lease before they terminated this one.
Or sometimes those leases have a minimum time frame. Eh?
Yeah, I think so.
They can't break them before. And at the first opportunity, they terminated it as opposed to renewed it.
Yeah.
Usually they move in 3 year cycles, not so I think.
Yeah. So they wouldn't say under 3 years, or they wouldn't say anything less than 3 years because it doesn't make sense for them at that level.
Makes sense.
But they get through.
Well,
And they have a whole building with bulletproof glass now that they could coast on, that they own.
Yeah, I'm sure that they might have some offsetting of that cost. Richard, how does that work? Yeah?
No, I don't know that there's any offsetting. The
No
only thing
offsetting of cost. That's not my problem. Or you
would do,
or you can sort it for your business.
the only state thing that I think the state would do is look for another agency that's suitable to occupy it.
Yeah, but it's been terminated.
Well, they have terminated lease for the DPP, but it could go into the lease for another institution if
But they would have to engage in another lease.
Yeah.
Yes.
If they wish. But you see, they can't just switch from one to the other.
No.
As I say, they have a formula, so they'll have to terminate it and then decide.
Because I know the city was looking for a building for city police for the longest while. They had we had actually looked, well, as the state, we had actually looked at a few buildings before, including the old passport office on Frederick Street. That one was literally at a signing stage. And then the owner decided, well, nah, that's too little bit of money. So, but city police needs a building because where they are now is totally inadequate. So I will send a message to the superintendent, let him try and see what happening with that building. Unofficially, I don't have no official capacity anymore.
Yeah, strings though.
Well, that's what I say. I can send a message to him to pursue it, check it out, ask questions. It ain't gonna hurt.
2014.
That's when the lease was signed?
Apparently.
You know, I didn't want to say it here, but I knew it was during the time of the former government, you know. But I didn't want to say it publicly, so I'm glad you checked it and confirmed that. That's how the started.
Body get.
Yeah, I just read in the article. They said the government has terminated the lease, which the DPP had agreed in 2014 to move into.
So he agreed and he disagreed?
Yeah, I would read for the record the letter which the DPP wrote to the Office of the Attorney General on September 22nd, 2014. The letter stated, accommodation for Port of Spain office, please be advised that consequent upon an invitation by Mr. Nicholas Subran, Research Planning and Development Office of the Attorney General, members of my planning committee and I viewed the RBTT premises on the corner of Park and Henry Street, Port of Spain, on July 20, 2014, and August 12, 2014. And after due consideration, I am of the view that the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions could and should be accommodated at these premises. Accordingly, I urge you.
All right, gentlemen, we got to run into our major news. AV is in. It's after 7 o'clock, so let's do that now. Of course, on this, AV is in. On this, the 20th day of October.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
Here are your news headlines to 7 o'clock. Public Utilities Minister to meet with TNTech on RIC rate hike increase. Chamber of Industry and Commerce urges caution and consideration for consumers. 563 illegal firearms have been seized so far by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, and a Santa Cruz man is charged with attempted murder, prison officer, and remanded into custody. Details in a moment. This is news to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. I'm Avril Santel-Bab. Good morning. Public Utilities Minister Marvin Gonzalez says he will consult with officials in his ministry and the TNTech Commission on a final determination over the Regulated Industries Commission's proposed increased electricity rates. He says this will take place in the coming days. He proposed that a report will be submitted after the consultation for consideration to Cabinet. He also denied that the government had interfered with the work of the RIC. Yesterday, the RIC outlined its proposed increased electricity rates from as low as 7.7% for residential customers to as high as 17% for some commercial customers in its first rate increase recommendation in 17 years. It's now up to TNTech to decide whether to implement the new rates. Minister Gonzalez told Guardian Media that contrary to the utterances and accusations by the United National Congress, the government has not in any way interfered with the work of the independent RIC. Gonzalez said now that the RIC has completed its work and reported its decision to the national community, his ministry and TNTech will now consider the report. The Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce says while it understands the necessity to increase revenue generation to continue with the National Development Plan, it is urging caution and consideration for consumers. It says ultimately this can have negative impacts on people if these costs are compounded and applied simultaneously. The TNT Chamber reiterates the need for promoting a balanced approach which does not lead to unnecessary hardships which can negatively impact the public, particularly the lower income sector and the vulnerable. Local businesses continue to operate with a degree of uncertainty due to many external factors in the geopolitical space. There is also the foreign exchange dilemma and challenges with food security, it says, and the escalation of crime has also resulted in increases in operational costs and a change in consumer patterns. The Regulated Industries Commission will review the Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission's damage appliance policy. The update was given by RIC's Deputy Executive Director Carol Balcaran in response to a question posed to a reporter during a media conference yesterday. It was revealed this issue came up several times during the consultation process held by the RIC. Ms. Balcaran said over the price review period, the damaged appliance policy will be revisited. The policy outlines the steps TNTech is required to follow, whether or not it remains fit for purpose.
In terms of the damaged appliances, there is currently a damaged appliance policy, which will outline the steps that TNTech is required to follow when investigating damaged appliance claims. So we do have that in place already. In some instances, TNTech will come in to investigate the claim, etc. What we do plan to do over the price review period is to review that policy to see if it remains fit for purpose.
The senior RIC official said there is also a guaranteed standard for voltage fluctuations. Ms. Balcaran said there are two forms of redress that currently exists for affected individuals.
We also currently have a guaranteed standard for voltage fluctuations. So if customers are experiencing voltage fluctuations that may or may not have led to a damaged appliance, they can access or look at GES 5, which is how TNTech is required to investigate voltage complaints as well. So they do have redress under the guaranteed standards. So there are two forms of redress that currently exist now.
563 illegal firearms have been seized so far by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Of this amount, 70 of the illegal weapons retrieved from the Western Division. There has also been a 23% reduction in murders and a 29% drop in woundings and shootings. For the year up to the 16th October 2023, reduction in homicides compared to the corresponding period 2022, and the probable cause of most of these homicides are gang-related. This is disclosed or has been disclosed by head of the Western Police Division, Sean Henry, while speaking during the weekly TTPS news briefing at the Police Administration Building in Port of Spain. Superintendent Henry said from the data collected, there has been a 24% reduction in serious crimes in the Western Division, which is made of 5 police stations.
We know who these gang members are and where they are located. So we are focusing our efforts on dismantling gangs and using the law to its fullest in this regard. A total of 563 firearms have been seized in the country so far in 2023, compared to 562 last year for the same period. Western Division has seized 70 of those firearms, 22 more than last year's figure.
Mr. Henry focused also said focus is also being placed on weakening the operations of criminal gangs.
As such, we have an active, very vibrant gang and intelligence unit in our division. Most, if not all, known gang members are priority offenders. By employing these crime-fighting and preventative methods mentioned earlier, and by using intelligence gathering and investigative skills, networking with colleagues from different divisions and branches, as well as different agencies and stakeholders, this unit has been mandated to go after these gang members, investigating, prosecuting, disrupting, and dismantling these gangs, the result being less members, less gangs, less gang-related activities, and ultimately less murders and other violent and serious crimes.
A Santa Cruz man charged with 2 counts of attempted murder against a prison officer and a minor in Barataria last Wednesday was remanded into custody when he appeared before a Port of Spain magistrate yesterday. 22-year-old Emmanuel Joseph, a laborer of Lacono Road, was also charged with possession of a firearm, possession of ammunition, possession of a firearm to endanger life, and possession of ammunition to endanger life when he appeared before Magistrate Maureen Babulal Ghafouri yesterday. The matter was adjourned to October 24th. According to reports, prison officer Steve Phipps and the female victim were seated in a vehicle in Barataria around 7:10 a.m. last Wednesday when they were approached by 2 masked armed men who shot at the vehicle. The assailants then escaped. The prison officer and the minor girl were injured and taken to hospital for treatment. One male suspect was arrested by officers of the Northeastern Division on that same date in connection with the incident. You are listening to news on Power 102 Digital to 7 o'clock. Police arrested a man suspected of using a fictitious social media account to sell narcotics after the officers seized a quantity of high-grade marijuana plants during an intelligence-led exercise at his home on Wednesday. An intelligence unit of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service received information in September 2023, which suggested that a person was using a social media platform to sell illegal narcotics. The officer acted on the information and gathered further intelligence, which enabled them to identify a 23-year-old man from Valencia as the user of the social media account. On Wednesday, 18th October 2023, the intelligence unit coordinated an operation together with officers of the Eastern Division where a search warrant was executed at the suspect's Valencia residence. During the search, a quantity of marijuana plants, which exceeded the legal limit, and various high-grade marijuana seeds were seized. The suspect also had an assortment of packaging with various label and branding. A pack containing several colored tablets were also seized, which was sent for testing. The suspect was subsequently arrested and taken to the Sangre Grande police station. Finally, here's weather news for the period today till midnight. Trinidad and Tobago, partly cloudy to cloudy conditions with occasional light to moderate showers and the medium chance of isolated thunderstorms. Similar conditions expected during the evening and overnight. Gusts and street or flash flooding possible in the event of a heavy downpour. Expect a temperature high of 34 degrees Celsius at Piarco International Airport and 33 degrees Celsius at Crown Point in Tobago. Currently, the temperature at Piarco is 26 degrees Celsius. It is 29 degrees Celsius at Crown Point. Recapping your headlines to 7 o'clock. Public Utilities Minister to meet with TNTech and RIC on TNTech on RIC rate hike increase. Chamber of Industry and Commerce urges caution and consideration for consumers. 563 illegal firearms seized so far by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. And a Santa Cruz man charged with attempted murder of prison officer remanded into custody. I'm Avril Sintil Bab. That was news to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. Look out for more news in detail at 12 noon today and an update coming your way at 8 o'clock this morning. For more details, log on to power102fm.com.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
All right, thank you so much, Evie, for our major news. Of course, you can join her again come 8 o'clock for our news brief right here on Power 102 Digital. let's take a look at what's happening on the highways and on the byways at this time. I got nothing ready to tell you about. A little bit of traffic in San Fernando heading towards Marabella roundabout, but taking the Solo is not too bad. I'm just going to pass Coover. Yep, Riverlet Road. That's a heavy spot there. No traffic as yet. A little volume heading towards Chicagonas. But from Monroe Road is where your traffic is starting this morning. All right. As you head towards the interchange. Leaving Chicagonas by Chin Chin Road, you got some traffic approaching Ibis Gardens, Madras Road. You got some traffic coming out there towards St. Helena, Kelly Village as well. But from Monroe Road, you're picking up your traffic towards the interchange. Taking a look, let's head out east, see what's happening there. Nothing ready to tell you about. Piarco to UE, Valsay, and Port of Spain. Eastern Main Road is not as bad this time. Out of Maraval, you got some traffic by Moncoco Road, then you'll speed up, would you believe? And then it's short-lived. Out of Dago, yeah, a bit busy this morning. All right, so that's a quick traffic update for you. Hope it helped you out in one way or the other. All right, let's get the results of our morning poll, shall we? Of course, we asked you this morning, do you agree with TNTech's proposed 1-month billing cycle?
All right, we had one more vote coming in after the news. Ish and Malik says no. And we have 11 people saying yes and 5 saying no. 11 say yes, they agree with the proposed 1-month billing cycle. 5 said no. I wanted to remind Paul and Richard before the break, in particular, with that discussion over the DPP, the article that Richard read. My memory long, especially when it comes to these things. And I remember how much pressure the DPP was under then, by the then government, where there were talks about the DPP office being spied on and laser lights were coming through the glass where they were situated. All manner of things and all the pressure that the DPP was being put under to be removed from office. I don't forget those things, you know. You understand? So nothing surprised me about the DPP wanting to move, because I think that was the whole idea, move him to somewhere that didn't pose that kind of threat. Of course, I don't know that Henry and Park Street was the answer, but clearly they thought so at the time that it was, which is why in 2014 a lease was signed to move the DPP's office, because of all the circumstances surrounding where he was prior, which I think he still is there, and he's still in the same place. Yeah. So
with no, anyway.
Yeah, I know. But heavily guarded nonetheless, because
heavily guarded, as it should be.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I watched Law and Order SVU I almost binge watched that thing, Law and Order SVU. I totally enjoy it. And to see the kind of work that human beings are capable of, because those pictures are based on, I would imagine, events that take place within the United States too, you know?
But there's some creative license granted.
Well, yeah, but you know, a lot of it is based on, we feel Richard Ryder played the other day, based on what he come up with in here. I saw Richard fashion that over somebody or some people. He ain't come up with that just so. How you always silent so? You had to read
the question under the table.
Richard,
the question under the table, keep pressing the button.
I say, of course not. Of course not. But as you mentioned, Play, Bacchanal Bubble and Bad Behavior is on this weekend. Of course, it was extended by public demand at Cipriani College because we had fantastic houses last weekend. So we on again this weekend, Saturday at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. at Cipriani College. So, of course, tickets are available at this college from 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. That's when the box office opens. And you can also get tickets from Electronics in Arima, Creme Fresh at Brentwood Mall in Chagonas, Pens of Trinidad and Tobago at Piarco Plaza, K-Squared Fashions in West Mall and Eastgate, Sharfley Auto Services, Rumbox in St. James, where again? Antoni's Florals in Val Park Shopping Plaza, which is just beneath the Val Park Chinese restaurant. I know they have been selling a lot of tickets. Jabili Rawi in Tinapuna, And that's about it in terms of the outlets. So that's where you can get tickets for the show. Of course, the base would be the box office from 12 noon to 6 p.m. 2 shows on this weekend, Saturday at 8:30 and Sunday at 6:30. Looking forward. This play is hilarious. I'm telling you, the actors have so much fun on stage. And
Who are the actors in Bacchanal, Bubble, and what is?
Deborah Buku Mason and myself. Deborah Buku Mason and myself are husband and wife.
Oh, well, the two of that. So that's the Bacchanal part, it.
Rokas and Zomari Tanka, husband and wife.
As more Bacchanal.
They're our best friends in the play. Then you have Kern Samuel, who is a police officer called Sergeant Alexander Rogers.
Well, that is where the bubble come in.
And Leslie Ann Levine is another police officer who comes into the picture, who is
more bubble.
Detective Sergeant Harewood.
Oh, she dressed up like an inspector, so.
Detective Sergeant Harewood, that's her name in the play. And we have Andrew Friday is a TTRS driver who has come to pick up particular people and gets involved in all of the commerce. And George Gonzalez's son, Scott Gonzalez, comes in later on.
Okay.
I don't want to
you have a good cast there, man.
Yeah, there's lots of fun.
Yeah,
And,
you have a good cast.
Oh my God. If you look very, very, depending on the night you come, I tell you, sometimes all kind of things are happening unexpectedly on stage. And of course, some of the actors are shamelessly laughing. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And the audiences have been roaring. Roaring.
Is Bacchanal, Bubble, and what?
Bad behavior.
Okay, so we established where the Bacchanal coming from. We established where the bubble coming. I would imagine Andrew Friday is the bad behavior.
Bad behavior. There was enough bad behavior to go all around, actually. There's a lot of bad behavior going on.
All right.
So that's on this weekend. You should not miss it. If you want a reprieve from planet Earth and bring some joy and laughter into your life, you should come to the play. Trust me, it's a pool of respite from everyday things.
Yeah. All right. What else is in the news, guys? I have not, as I said, I have not been checking on the news really. But still no arrest in these large arm and ammunition fines. Still no arrest yet.
Nothing that has been indicated yet. No.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
That is a lot of weapons. That is and kind of weapons that they've found. From police vests to passports, ammunition. I don't know.
And all centered in the Santa Cruz area.
All in the Santa Cruz area.
And now the arrest of the guy in the attempted assassination of the deputy governor. He's also from Santa Cruz, huh? I think that's what I heard Paul say this morning.
Yeah, I think that, yeah.
Yes.
So this sleepy little foggy village all of a sudden making the news big.
It's a wonderful area.
It ain't so sleepy, yeah?
No, they're wide awake.
Well, clearly.
But it is foggy.
Very.
Depending on what time you're traversing the area. If you're coming out in the wee hours of the morning, it's not a fog on the road.
Yeah. 3, 4, 5, it's foggy.
Where's that?
Even 2, 3.
In Santa Cruz. You ever drove through Santa Cruz like 3, 4, 5 in the morning?
I have no reason to.
It's very misty.
Yeah, it's quite misty at that time.
Misty blue.
I have no reason to. Apparently, this
drive slowly. 622.
What reason you have for driving in Santa Cruz at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, Paul?
You can call now, 222-TALK,
And you, Wendell, what reason you have for traveling in Santa Cruz at 3 to 4
Let
in the
Paul
morning?
answer first. Let Paul answer
612-8255
first.
and 866
And you, Steve, what reason you have for traveling in Santa Cruz at 3 to 4 in the morning?
The transmitter.
Marcia
Steve is the transmitter.
Marcia Henville used to live in Santa Cruz, not too far from the fire station. And sometimes when she's come to work, she had asked that I pick her up when she had car problems.
And you'd pick up at 3 to 4 in the morning?
Yeah, well, I have to, because I have to leave home, drive to Santa Cruz, and then be in the office way before 6.
That's a very long lie.
Yeah, that fumble first.
It's a very, very long lie.
Let's take this call. Good morning. Save me.
Steve?
Yes, dear, save me.
Yes. Good morning, Paul. Dr. Paul.
Good morning.
Good morning, Wendell. I'm calling in order that they come to work, right?
Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
The order they come to work. Oh, God, no.
Right. So, well, first of all, in the morning, Paul.
Good morning, Michelle.
No, not my name, not Michelle. Eh?
Okay, all right.
My dear, she feel everywhere name is Michelle.
I think so.
Yeah.
Michelle the banker, you know.
Yeah, that is it. Hey, my name is
I feel everybody name is Michelle.
Okay.
I see a Michelle Philip from Darby this morning, so I thought it was you.
Oh, no, I thought it was me. Nah.
Yes, an affinity for Michelle's.
Charles. So Charles is the only one who knows my name.
Okay.
Okay, so I agree with you 1 month billing for the TNT. You know, it's so kind of nice to tell you the truth, huh? My billing, because even though I do this type of work, I use both electric and gas ovens, right? But my bill has been reduced on a regular basis. One time it was very high and I went and queried it, but they come and they raise it more. And I don't know what happened 4 months after, it went back to the regular amount. I pay less than $500 every 2 months, right? So on an average, it's $250 per month. But I noticed that it has been coming lower because I do a lot of things for that to happen. I do not use my air conditioning. I have no reason to. I don't use water heater. I have no reason to. I don't use a pump. I have no reason to. And of course, I don't use a dryer.
Where you living that you not using a water heater, not using a pump?
Well, we get water 24/7. Very powerful.
What? In Darby?
Well, it depends on which part in Darby. And I'm not going to say because I figure out as soon as I come over the phone, I might get no water. So I'm saying. And I'm telling you, I have pump we have water tanks that don't use. Sometimes I just had to clean it out and empty the water, wash down the yard with it or something. So I don't use those type of things at all. I conserve energy. So yeah, we have a couple lights on, you know, emergency lights, overnight and so on. But that is it. And I wish my light bill could go down less to about $350. But because I bake, the electric oven is used more than the gas. You know.
Right. I lost you there.
Yeah, she faded away. She's there still, but it's breaking up.
Yeah, I lost you there.
Well,
all right. Well, thank you.
You don't have proper in Darby is phone service. No.
Good morning, caller.
Morning, brothers.
Morning.
Hey, Richard, when you play coming back south again? Yeah, but
load on your device.
Yeah, morning.
And listeners on telephone. Go in a different room. All right, caller.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, Tiantec operational costs going up. Tiantec need people crying and moaning over things. Tiantec had to spend more money to run Tiantec. Workers want more money. Workers crying. They want Tiantec had a wage bill go up all. So it's a challenge to everybody. Costs going up all around. All around costs going up. So it's tough. It's challenging. But at the end of the day, it's reality. We had to face reality and You had to stop crying and trying to be go. It's reality we had to face. I know it's tough. It's tough for everybody. It's tough for everybody because everybody costs going up. And that's just the reality, fellas.
That's a fact.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
222-8255, North Americans, 866-525-1099.
I think we've taken low bills for granted for too long. You understand? A lot of people. You have to find ways. I have solar lights around my yard. I try to find ways to save
Enjoy
electricity.
After tomorrow, you won't have it.
No, I want to put more, as a matter of fact. You know? But that's the reality. The other day I got so that I don't have to put on lights in my bathroom now. I have this motion light in my toilet that will only come on when you enter the toilet. You understand? So I don't even need a light again to put on a light in my toilet now in the night. You know, it's motion, it stays on for a while and then it will go off when you exit. Or you have to find all kind of little clever ways, you know. Paul, you're silent now.
So does it go on and up when you're shaking?
Well, it's a light for the toilet bowl itself, not for the toilet, you know. It's for the toilet bowl itself.
Yeah, but if you say it's a motion light, when you're shaking it, maybe going on and off.
It changes color.
Okay. Is that disco?
It's a disco. It looks like a disco. You're very
the
right.
disco toilet?
I saw that first when I went to London, and then I went on Amazon and I got it the other day when I traveled, and I brought back a few. And it's working just fine. I never have to put on the light again.
I'll see how well it works Saturday.
I had one of those that lasted a month.
You had one like that, Steve, and it lasted a month?
Yeah, pre-pandemic I had it. I didn't worry to get another one.
But Steve, maybe it just wasn't picking up the motion.
It wasn't.
I thought that he was going in there too often.
Caller, please save me.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, gentlemen. Morning. Oh, God, that's today on you this morning.
I know, huh?
Oh, gosh, sometimes. Let me tell you, let me tell Wendell, I had told a friend of mine who got herself in some trouble. Careful calling names, because sometimes you call wrong name and you get in trouble. So, call up. No, I heard you call the lady Michelle, and she says she's not Michelle.
I wanted to see if she would answer because I saw earlier on a message come from Michelle in Dabadi.
I just pulled your legs, but I told a friend, careful when you're calling name, especially in the night, because you could get yourself in trouble. Anyway.
I'm safe for that name, though.
I have no problem paying the increase. TNTech has been serving us well. Our rates have been very low. Our bill will be no more than 3 something. And it's dryer, electronic gate, AC, you name it. But as I heard Miss Dabadi said, she conserve electricity and this is what you have to do. Why? Now people, when they hear you're putting clothes out on the line, I have a friend, what? I said, wait, I'm not living in an apartment building. People living in an apartment building might have to use a dryer because they have no yard, and still I see by Shakonia Crest there, you're seeing clothes flying in the gallery in some of them apartments. Why would I have a backyard and would not have a line? I love to see my sheets and towels blowing in the wind. I haven't used a dryer. I'll use a dryer if I wash and rainfall, which we haven't gotten so long, and I need to get those clothes dry. But once there's sun, why would I not use the natural sun? And my father always used to say, he said 2 things that pulls a lot of electricity. He said a dryer and an AC unit. And some people want to have AC in every room. They wash. I had to tell my son once, you wash 2 pants and you want to push that in the dryer, no matter what, put the thing on the line. So you have to learn how to conserve energy. And with all this hot sun, who want to use dryer, I glad for you. My dryer, I might have to put it on to see if it's still working because it's months I haven't used it. So, Tech, I have no problem. Well, the only thing is the property tax we're waiting to see.
But Miss Diego Martin,
Yes,
I heard a comment. I heard a comment from somebody. I don't know how true it is, where she said it's better to use your dryer than to use your iron. I heard that comment. I don't know what you think, because if you hang your clothes on the line, it means you have to iron them. So there are some clothes.
Well, no, not
put in
all.
the
Eh?
dryer that you have to iron.
Just straight and you. And I like to buy clothes. I don't like to iron at all. So some of my clothes is hung up on the hanger and it's good to go. You will have certain things you'll iron, but I never heard that one, Wendell. That is amazing. But
Yeah,
I
sometimes when I use my dryer, just 10 minutes before it cuts off, I throw 2 blocks of ice in it and it steams it up and it comes out nicely.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna learn something. Anyway, but
it's cheaper than ironing.
People who iron a lot. Oh, really? Well, I don't know. I don't iron much. And I heard Miss Maloney say how she do. Well, they do use what was she say? The tank. Wow. Well, I mean, I doesn't like to talk too quick because in Diego Martin, at least down where I live, we don't have problems for water. But we have a tank in the event Wassa decide to play the fool. But no problem for water. And I can't embed without what she's... Well, now with the hot sun, the heater ain't going on. You don't have to... You are still on only the cold pipe because the heat. But I can't do it. At least I don't think nobody in Trinidad and Tobago so brave not to have a water tank. Well, Miss Maloney, Wassa treating all you real good. I wish other people... I'm sure Richard must be saying, what? Because Arima people, my sister, oh God, look, let me don't even go there. Santa Rosa going real hell for water. I don't know. Miss Maloney,
cannot survive in Arima. You cannot survive in Arima without water tanks.
Exactly. Miss Maloney asked Wassa to divert some of that water to Arima, please, because boy, I just feel sorry for her. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
I wanted to call her Miss Cheryl, but I wasn't sure. But I think her name is Cheryl. Miss Diego Martin, that is.
All right. 222-8255, toll free North Americans, 866-525-1099.
Paul, what you up to? You're only looking at your phone, your mouth moving, we ain't hearing you. What you up to?
Well, if my mouth is moving and you're not hearing me, my mouth is probably engaged in other productive engagements. So you have to be talking to be engaged in.
But you also have that wry smile on your face.
A wry smile on my face. What does that mean, a wry smile?
You know exactly what. I'll take a picture of it and send it for you. Go ahead. You continue.
I don't know what that means.
Continue. I'll send it for you.
Tobago is facing an infestation of the giant African snail. Confirmation of this from Nathesia Charles Panton, Secretary for the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment, and Sustainable Development at the House of Assembly. But let me tell you something. If there was in Africa, they cook them thing. But they're dangerous.
They're very dangerous, though. Eh?
They're very, very dangerous. They could poison you in a minute.
And they're multiplying like flies.
Yeah.
Multiplying like flies.
Of snails. I guess it's a different kind of snail that may not be poisonous. On sale at the roadside.
Multiplying.
I'm trying snail or escargot. I don't even want to know. Don't give me. I don't want to know. I don't want it.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, snail getting ready. You know, all them set of old truck and old car going up on the boat and all about and so because you say it like to cling to the bottom of cars, vehicles, and so depend on where you park. Because Tobago didn't have an African stain. And if they didn't want so much of produce from here, Tobago used to be the bread basket. But everything they stop the serious agriculture and everything they want to bring up there on a set of big old vehicle and that is lined up there to go on the boat. How come it get there? I'm not understanding that. Tobago didn't have that.
It might have gone up on produce too, because remember African slaves at one time it was only in Diego Martin, Diamondville?
Yes.
And then it spread all over.
All over. I walking on the street in Arima there, someday near the laundry. Down there, I saw one by the corner of a fence by a house. I call the people, I call the man and say, come outside and see what's going on here by your yard. And he had a set of plants and things there. Say, African snail here. So he say, you don't come out and check on it. Yeah. Anyhow, I called to say, well, the school thing getting, I'm glad what Minister of Education did with that young lady, but they've morphed and it have to happen too, because a warning has to be sent out. Just so where a teacher got damaged in the table and government secondary school yesterday or the day before. So WhatsApp, the two girls disrupt her class to fight another one right and straight apart and big bacchanal going on and the teacher end up getting injured. I don't know injured in what way. That is what what. A lot of them need to be disciplined. And I hope the minister, she spoke about what I always talk about, the boot camp. I hope they go ahead very quick and organize some way could throw some of these students. Let them stay there for a while and learn some discipline.
All right. Thank you, Gina. I didn't see that video. I
don't
know what
water, Miss Diego Martin. I don't know what part of Ariba. You suffering out on your end when there?
In Arima? Yes, but I have water tanks. So generally it doesn't affect me. But if I didn't have water tanks, trust me, there are days you go out there and there's no water, and I mean.
Well, Lord Jesus. Well, that's why Marvin had to say the last time to tell me you hush because you have it 24/7. You suffer for water on this end, so very rare.
All right.
A lot of Arima is affected in different ways because some people in Arima get from different reservoirs, is what I think.
That's right.
Some get from Hollis. Some get from Guanapo. Some get from Navet, I think.
Yeah.
Zina has been very, very proactive in getting various sources of water.
So, but Arima is problematic. It's a problem, and it's been problematic for years. It's not new.
Let me hear Paul properly there.
Yeah, it's new.
You've been very proactive in making sure that you have various sources of water.
You will know that.
You know you can't do without your water, your water, sorry.
And my garden had to be watered daily.
Exactly. We wouldn't want it to get arid at your age.
I warn you already, I talk about there's snow falling here, so I don't know what else to refer it to, but you think because there's a little snow on the roof, you think that there's no fire in the furnace. But let me tell you, my head hardly have grease. I'm a family who don't grow out.
All you wouldn't get a letter from Tatino. All you would get handcuffs. All you go past the stage a letter from Tatino.
Yeah, she may like that. She may like the handcuffs.
If Paul and get a letter, who go
But the water situation in Arima is shameful because this is going on for decades.
Yes.
It's a generational issue. And there is no further indictment on the people who have governed us that they could not have solved this problem, not even in one generation.
Yeah.
Because it's still going on.
Yes.
It
is still going on. It's still continuing. So it is absolutely shameful.
Despite decade after decade of promises of water for all.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely embarrassing.
That has never materialized despite the claims that it has. It has never materialized.
Embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. Something as
basic embarrassing as a country. Because I know it's not the only area like that.
This is a small space.
Yeah.
And I'm warning people, because the rainy season was so terrible, you better prepare for an absolutely horrid dry season. Prepare from now. Go, if you don't have water tanks, go and get it. If you have one, get the next one. Trust me, you're going to need it.
That depends if you have the ability to put up a water tank. If you are renting or in a condominium type environment, you can't put up water tanks.
Well, go and tell your landlord or landlady from now, prepare, you know. I'm speaking to people who have the wherewithal to do it. If you don't have the wherewithal to do it, well, then fine.
Yeah, and I mean, if you don't, just pray.
Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. Good program here. You know, if I was a politician in Trinidad, I would listen to talk shows. I mean, I'm jealous about this because, you know, I listened to the discussion yesterday and throughout the week, and I really find, I mean, politicians can get solutions to a lot of the problems that the country has. I mean, the question of energy, I mean, conserving energy. I know in Dominica, I think, or in St. Lucia, they have a system, pay as you go, where you pay for your electricity rates, you know, and you know, you monitor your usage, and I mean, that is one way you can conserve energy. I am not too sure if you have that in Trinidad. And in reference to there was a discussion about the discovery by the policemen with all these arms and guns and so on. And the question was raised as to no arrest. But what I'm saying, if in Santa Cruz in the bush, you catch all these things in the bush, I mean, how is it possible to make an arrest? I mean, you have no cameras there and so on and so forth. So I don't know how that is possible. But the question of the water, I mean, it would be really good if the water department could really have a public service, you know, program on the radio. I mean, to discuss with people what they're doing about improving the water situation. I mean, listening to the talk show programs for the entire week, there is always a water problem discussion on the radio from, I mean, north, south, east, and west. So it would be better to really calm down the critics. I mean, if you come there and you say to us, well, we are doing this, we have $800 million from the IDB, we are just developing the plans to make sure we have waterfall by the year 2030. Because waterfall is a discussion we've been hearing for the past 20 plus years, and we don't know what's going on. So, I mean, good program, gentlemen. I'm listening, and God bless you.
Thank you. You know, the other part of the discussion
Thank you, caller.
The other part of the discussion regarding the rise in electricity rates, and I'm surprised that none of the journalists who were there asked the question yesterday, because to their credit, they asked the question about TNTEC's damaged appliance policy, which they said they would get back to that. But the other issue that no one raised, which I'm surprised, is the issue of when TNTEC was going to instruct or ask its line ministry to take to Parliament amendments to the TNTEC Act to allow for easier installation of solar panels.
That's
And I'm surprised no one asked the question in the context of you are talking about a raise in electricity rates in an era where you're talking about a green economy and reducing the reliance on burning gas in a space where photovoltaic cells costs have gone down, and every other little island in the Caribbean, if you drive through the islands, you see the houses have solar panels on them, and we're talking about electricity rates, and no conversation about that is championed at all on a consistent basis in this time.
In this time.
It's ridiculous. And there seems to be no urgency in getting that done from TNTEC's perspective, because TNTEC has to champion that too.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and it has a loss of revenue issue.
And a loss of revenue position can be amended if you change the law to make it easier for people to put up solar panels and augment their reliance on TNTEC's grid. As a matter of fact, the proposal is for people to, if they can generate additional energy, put it into the grid. But apparently that is beyond this in Trinidad and Tobago. You drive around Barbados and every other house has a solar panel in it.
Yeah. I remember
They
during the
want to be dependent on burning gas and TNT current for the next 20 years when we'll talk about this again. Go ahead, TNT.
Yes, Steve. Yes. Take this call.
Go ahead.
Steve?
Go ahead, yeah.
Oh, yes. I'm back. You know something? And that is, I spoke about water and I get water every day as I was speaking just now. But my issue is with, who my issue is with? TSTTB mobile. Both phones I use, but I use a cell phone to listen to y'all because when I could put on a YouTube, but I'm in the kitchen most of the time, I want to look at your faces, so I prefer to listen to the radio. Not radio, but listen to it on my phone. So I have to use my landline. That landline has been giving me problems for the last 5 months. Sometimes I hear it, sometimes I'm not hearing, and like this morning, it going again. No, my cell phone. After a little while, I'm hearing like if water starts to beat up or somebody hacking into it or something. So actually, I went to the mobile office for the last 2 weeks. Do you know their service is down? They can't do anything. They can't pay a bill. They can't do anything about the phones.
No, it's down again.
Again, because it's 2 weeks. And here what? My phone was used to, I normally pay my phone online, but because I was going in to complain about my phone, I decided to pay there. I couldn't pay my bill because the thing down. And you know what the girl told me there? She asked what SIM card I have. I said a green. She said you have to upgrade the SIM card. I said, great one. The service is down.
Let me tell you something. Yeah? I have a friend who works TSTT at a very high level. And what they tell me about that billing system,
yeah.
Well, here it is, I haven't
what
paid
they tell me about that billing system
7 months.
is of great concern.
For the last 5 years, B-Mobile sending me a bill a month after it due. I don't even know why they're sending it to me because I pay my bills.
More than a month.
The billing system in many different ways.
A big fat envelope with a set of paper.
And I think the Office of Consumer Affairs should do an investigation into B-Mobile's billing system.
I am so fed up of my phones, both phones, that I see if I buy a new phone, it does make a difference because nothing's wrong with my phone, just about 7 months I have it. So why I must be going through this problem and they're not doing anything? So I decided not to pay for my landline. For the last 7 months, I haven't paid for my landline and it still works. Well, I can't say it's still working because I was speaking to you all this morning as usual. But so charge, it always going and coming, going and coming. So I'm not paying any bill. If they're disconnected, I'm still not paying. So, but this landline, this cell phone, it is a problem as well.
I discontinued my B-Mobile internet service home years ago, over 10 years ago, and they continue to send me a bill. Remember when they were on Park Street?
Yes.
Went in and signed all the documents, everything to discontinue the service. And they sent me internet bills for years after that.
I'm not paying no money. So I find these services are real problematic. I've given 100% for myself for WASA. TNT going down a little bit for me because every day I have little outages and in the night the lights get dim. In fact, today the electrician is coming because he told me we have in our area we have we call it anything low.
Low voltage.
It's very low. Low voltage because he said he has low voltage, so he's back home now. So he told me you come today to check mine. But in the night the lights are very dim. Very, very dim. So TNT giving real problems now. I used to praise them, but I ain't doing that again. So WASA is my good God savior. I get water right through. And even though WASA doesn't send water one day for other people like Maloney and north side of La Florissant North and so on, I don't mind, but you still get water. The pipe is not full blasting, but you still get water. So I don't really worry. So I have no use for a pump. The pump is spoiled when I don't use it. I no use for water heater. Because the water too hot anyway, and we don't use hot water to bathe anyway. So I want solar panels. I will be the first lining up to buy solar panels. But when you were asking why I don't need air conditioning, my house is insulated. So I don't need all these extra things. So air conditioning is there, but it does not use. In fact, it might be spoiled and all.
Heat don't penetrate your house at all?
No, I don't feel the heat. So that's why I say I get a lot of breeze. I open my windows, I get a lot of breeze. The place is cool.
For me to get heat, I don't go outside.
Which one is it? Is it that heat don't penetrate the house, or you don't feel the heat?
Heat doesn't penetrate the house. I always have heat.
The lady just say, Paul, when she wants heat, she just go outside. She just said that.
Okay.
Thank you, dear.
I'm just seeking clarification.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, Lord.
I would like to know, when you buy a card, a TSCT phone card, why it have an expiration date? I have a TSCT card as backup, and every time I pick it up, the money disappear without I using it. They're making money this way, and still
But
they
Mr.
can't.
Samson, why are you buying cards that you're not using?
No, so, you know, sometimes the
If you
landline.
buy a card, you have to use it.
Oh, good.
No, well, I
Yeah, but you
didn't
have to
have
put
it.
it. You have to put it on your phone. You can't just buy a card and rest it on there.
But I have it there as backup. If I put the money on the card
Backup,
and I
no,
use
Mr.
it, it's
Samson.
supposed to
Then don't
stay.
buy it. Don't buy it until you need it.
Hey.
You don't buy phone cards always expire.
Yeah.
Well,
You
right
just
now
giving
that's
people
going
money.
down.
It does give it. You have been sustained be mobile.
No, they might take it from
No
me
wonder
just
why they
because.
can give out $6 million in profit end of the year because of you.
And bonus.
No, but I bet it
Contributed to that 6 million.
It shouldn't have an expiration date on it, man. This is ridiculous. When I was building my house concerning the solar panel, I went in by Tiantec and tell them, I said, I'm not going to put on my roof. I would like to have some solar panels. They didn't know what the heck I was talking about.
You know,
Samson, they're not going to give you the solar panels, you know.
Huh?
You have to put it yourself. They're not Tiantec ain't going to give. You can't ask Tiantec for solar panels because you change your roof, you know.
I went for information because somebody tell me Tiantec have to get involved. They give me a paper to fill out, and that was it.
For solar panels?
Yes, that is 25 years ago. They said that Tiantec have to get involved. I can just put the solar panel just so. So up to now, I don't have any solar panel, but I wish I could get that.
Start off with solar lights. Just put solar lights around your compound. Put them where you know they'll get a lot of sunshine. And trust me, in the night you won't have to put on a switch at all.
Well, I have solar light, I have motion light, but then coming down the step, the light comes on when I walk in the bathroom, the light comes down. The one I had in the toilet only lasts 2 months. So I get in there.
Yeah, do that.
My ramp, the light comes on. I only have a duster down in the back because the neighbor have bat and they will come inside if I don't leave on that duster down. I called the other day to find out about bat. The lady told me, I called Ministry of Health. They told me to call agriculture. I don't know if they're cooking the bat up there. Agriculture tell me, call back Ministry of Health, and up to now nobody can come in the area to get rid of the bat. So I don't know what to do.
So the San Fernando City Corporation can't take care of that for you?
No, they said no.
Okay.
No.
In Port of Spain have a unit that goes in and removes bats from people's homes and trees and so on.
Well, I would like you to WhatsApp me that because I have
No,
to.
I say it's in Port of Spain. It's for Port of Spain people, not San Fernando.
North could speak to South because I have to leave on that light 24/7 the duster down in order for the bat not to come in my house.
I don't want the bat in the house.
They say you're not supposed to have light in the garden. Well, any bat bright like this.
But why you don't bat-proof your own home too, though? Why you don't put up stuff that the bats can't get inside?
Well, right now I have black net on all my windows. Every window have net on it. That holds out the bat, the dust, the mosquito, and everything else. You can't forget that back door open. Else my grandchildren will be on the fridge, on the table.
Yeah, arrange a visit to Wendell. Let Wendell come down south and he will take rid of the bats.
No, I really would like Wendell.
I kind of worried.
I tell you, I call Agriculture, tell me call back health, I call the borough, nobody ain't helping.
Richard, see if you can help Miss Sampson. She said as soon as her back door open, bat is flying.
Okay, close the back door.
Oh God, you're glad for the little breeze when the sun go down, man.
Buy a Lasco fan.
I have all of that. I have every room have an air condition and a wall fan. But you want
So you open the door for?
Open door, close the back door.
Close the back door.
Lock that up, padlock that.
Oh God, no! Sometimes you want this fresh air to pass through the place,
But
man.
then take the back.
Open the front door.
And
And
you have
open the
one of
back
those
door.
back doors where it's half does open and half does stay closed, and it's one of those you have. The bottom half does stay closed and the top half does open.
You can put up a netted door. You know the door with the fine wire.
It have and then that have magnet that when you pass through the door, the magnet just slip back. But I didn't find the person. When I used to go Venezuela, I used to see that. But I haven't found someone to do the door. Yeah, no, the door is there, but it have a sheet with magnet right around it that you could walk through, and as you walk through, it's sealed back. Yeah, I used to see it in Venezuela when I used to go up there, but since but I didn't find anybody in Trinidad that put that. Else I will really put one on my 2 doors because I like to get fresh air early in the morning and lasting in the night.
So you are the
But the bat supposed to be sleeping in the day.
Exactly. The morning.
Bat is sleeping in the day and come out in the night. How bat out in the day by you?
It's the night air that she's seeking.
No, it's
that
in
where
the
the bat
night.
goes
It's in
in.
the night that does bother you. It's in the night. You can't leave the door open in the night at all.
Open the front door and close the back door.
Actually be bat, you know. That might be human beings coming in there changing form, you know. That might not actually be batting.
It's bad. Listen, my neighbor don't have any light. And the other day I lean over my banister and I check 40 bats come from by her.
This is the most entertaining conversation I've had all week.
No, it's
4-0.
after me.
40 bats.
You cross, you check out 40 bats. You cross all the numbers that play with. So people can't even play number 40.
No, listen to me. The lady on the right, the bat crossing in front by me because my light's on and going to have an abandoned house on the left. So I up the creek. I call her. I say, listen, ain't you had a duster down light? Why don't you put it on? She said, when the guys was fixing the house the other day, they took it down. 40 bats. I stand up there and check it. 4-0. Somebody needs to help.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You sure it's not the same bat flying about? And remember, bats just fly about and duck and weave and come back.
36, 37, 38, 39, 40.
It might be one
right
bat.
side goes to the left. We have a bad problem up here. We have a bad problem.
Yeah, well, I don't doubt that, Miss Sampson. And I think San Fernando City
It's young bats or old bats?
You see, I living in the country, you know, it have bat, rat, it have bird. I can have a coconut tree. We have manikou. Don't talk for batak. Nobody are doing nothing but nothing up here, and I living on the abandoned street of San Fernando. We don't get nothing done on Wharton Street. You remember the 9 years for the drain?
Who's the councillor up there, Miss Sampson?
The only thing you have is a buck.
5 years before Nigam passed, this last person here who passed was Alwari, and after that, when I first moved up here,
Alwari is the MP. Nigam is still the councillor. If it was Nigam is still the councillor.
We have a bad problem.
He doesn't only go paradise something, he doesn't go. He don't come up here at all. I waited 20-something years for a turning point.
It's 1 minute after 8. Miss San Fernando, thank you for entertaining us for the last 10
There is a wall falling since before COVID, and up to now, nobody can come and see about that wall. If it falls, we cannot come out from this hole here. Nobody
So
can
it's still standing up?
Miss Sampson, we need to give you an hour and and call it the problems of Miss Sampson.
Well, yeah, no, but I give it to you right now.
We're going to do a special program for you and call it Estelita's Hour next week.
Oh, good. Hey.
No, see if you can help me with the bat, please, now, please.
I'm gonna message Nigam and I'm gonna tell him he needs to pay a visit to what road is that in Vistabella?
Wharton Street. I just talked to the man the other day and he tell me he can't do nothing about the wall. They can't do nothing about the turning point. I tell her living on the
Talking bats, Miss Sampson. The wall and turning point is we dealing with the bats. I'm sure San Fernando City Corporation can do something about your bats that flying through your back door whole day, whole night.
Well, I will be glad if they could do that. I really will be glad. Anybody know how to make a trap? I need to.
The backdoor bats. That's what we're going to deal with. The backdoor bats.
Make what kind of trap?
Squirrel. I can't
have squirrel, you have bat, rats. It's a zoo.
Yes, Samson, you need a box. Mrs. Harris says you need a box.
Gregory Boyer, if you're listening, you need to go down the water lane. You can fill up your pet store. Gregory Boyer, listen, page
you all have a great weekend. Be safe, please.
Yes,
don't get into trouble. See you Monday. Bye.
Yes. Theater is on this weekend. Bacchanal Bubble and Bad Behavior at Cipriani College held over for 2 more nights at Cipriani. You should not miss it. Trust me, you will not regret it. You will laugh your belly full.